Hello everyone, welcome to Data Chronicles. Let's solve an interview question asked in Uber. It is a hard level question. The question is most senior and junior employee. Write a query to find the number of days between the longest and least tenured employee still working for the company. Your output should include the number of employees with the longest tenure, the number of employees with the least tenure, and the number of days between both the longest tenured and least tenured hiring dates. So this is the given table. ID would be the employee ID and hire date uh, and termination date. Since the question is asking for workers who are still working for the company, so we'll have to make sure that termination date is null. Okay. So first of all, let us calculate the tenure for each employee. For that, I'm going to use date def function. And since the employee is still working, to get the current tenure, I'll use the current date as end date. So current date, this is the function in MySQL to get the present date, and hire date as tenure from over employees. So I'm going to solve this question step by step so that I can explain it clearly. So let's run the code. So as you can see, this particular query gives you employee ID and their tenure. So now we need to find the max and minimum of tenure. So I'll just use max function over here and I'll remove this ID because this is not relevant. So max of tenure, and I'll just rename it at max tenure, and I'll simply replace max with min to get the longest and shortest tenures. Okay, so let's just run this code. Yeah, now as you can see, we have found max tenure and min tenure. So now we can further proceed to the expected output. So I'll treat this as a temporary table with CTE as, okay. So we are expected to provide three columns: the number of employees with the least tenure, the longest tenure, and the difference between the max and min tenure. So what I can do is select, I'll just calculate tenure of each employee and compare if it is equal to maximum or minimum of that, so that we'll get the count. So select, we can use a case statement for that. Select count, distinct case when the same function to calculate the tenure. Max tenure, then ID, end as longest tenured count from over employees and city. So in this step, what I'm doing is I'm counting the IDs if the tenure of that employee is equal to maximum tenure. So this particular subquery is going to give me the count of longest tenure employees. So let's just try running it. So as you can see, I'm getting the count as 4, but actually we have missed one thing, that we have to put this condition as where termination date is not null. So let me just correct it. Oh, sorry. If the person is still working, then the termination date will be null. Okay, it will be populated if the person has left the company, and similarly we'll put the same condition over here. Okay, let's just try it out. Yeah, so the count has changed it from 4 to 3. So this is giving us the longest tenure count. We need least tenure as well. So I'm just going to copy this part and update here. Least. And the third column expected is the difference between maximum tenure and minimum tenure. So I'll just write as tenure difference. Okay. Okay, so as you can see in the first temporary subquery, I calculated max and min tenure, and in the main query, I'm just comparing the duration tenure of each employee, whether it is max or min, and so the I don't need to create a join between the two tables since there is no column with which I can join. I can simply write the table name, and that will work. So let's try the code and let's run it. Yeah, so the solution works. So in case of any difficult question, try to break down into subparts and then try to solve it. So if you like these kind of questions, do consider subscribing. Thank you.